Hey, aloha, and good morning. It's July 10th. Oh, the second week of July. We're back. Still alive, still doing well, still doing some great natural farming. Want to welcome you here to the office hour. Get into some deep Korean natural farming. But before we go there, we'll start off with the usual, which is to get some higher guidance so that we stay on the right page, stay in alignment with the higher powers, and see what's in store for us today, which is possession in great measure. So, those who are steadfastly balanced, humble, and in harmony with the sage inherit everything under the sun. This is a time of great power and clarity for you. By conscientiously following the path of proper principles, you have come into partnership with the higher power and enjoy the influence of the creative everywhere in your life. If you remain modest and balanced now, you will come into possession of prosperity and success. The I Ching indicates here that you increased your personal power by purifying your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. When you have done this long enough so that your service of the true and good becomes your only goal in life, you come into complete harmony with the universe. As a result, you begin to have far-reaching influence, shining on others as the sun shines on everything under the heavens. Because your power is so great, it is important to maintain correct attitudes and behaviors now. Having attained a high position, you are wise to remain modest and generous towards others. Remember, it is the higher power that gives you your strength. Do not make the mistake of becoming proud, disdainful of others, or convinced of your ability to control events. By leaving the sage in charge and withdrawing from all inferior influences and promoting the good wherever possible, you remain gracefully balanced and in harmony with the universe. Your peace of mind becomes permanent, and in this way, you come into possession of success and prosperity. Well, isn't that a nice one? A nice blessing for us. The power of the great possession in great measure, actually, is, yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you see people get up to high positions and they kind of become proud or disdainful or these other things. And yeah, hey, how are you? Hola. And good to see you, Julia, coming in from Finland. And Finca Natural Farming. What's up, Post Up Media? Yeah, you guys in the house. Good to see you, Mark. Everybody checking in. It's great. We had a pure KNF board meeting this past week and talking about how we can further the pure KNF mission, which is, if anyone's curious about the pure KNF, it's pureknf.org. And the thing is pretty simple of what our mission is, which is kind of cool. Our mission is to balance life through microbial awareness, education, and action. So I don't know why my scroll wheel's not working. It's kind of funky. Try and get this thing to go there. It's scrolling, but now it's stopped. Yeah, so one of the main things Pure KNF's been doing, one of the projects we talked about, we actually got 3 major projects going on. One of those is, well, more than that is the office hours continuing to do the KNF support website. So if you look here on the office hours and click on this guy, you'll see it comes over to KNF support, the office hours page here. My scroll wheel's not working. It's a little funky on me. Is it working? No, I'll just scroll with the keyboard. So, yeah, so supporting KNF support. It's one of the things here, the past office hours. Here's the one with Con that we did June 26th. Haven't put up the July ones, but that's what I do today after the show. I'll go through and put up the other old ones. And the whole KNF support website. This is generously sponsored by the foundation. Looks like there's some questions to answer here on livestock housing and stuff. But all these questions and answers. So if you want a question and an answer in text, or you're just curious, perhaps you're interested in livestock, search here and see. And it's like, oh, look at all these: chicken drinking water, KNF food for livestock animals, KNF inputs for animals and livestock. Look at all those things referencing livestock. Some of them last 4 years ago. So KNF Foundation been sponsoring this for 4 years, and having these resources out for you folks. The other thing we're working on is a sweet video series to get this together, and then also helping to work for, if you look down here, what else? We did have the KNF Times for a while here. That project was thanks to mostly to Ryan Flesh, who really helped out with that. And there's a third issue that never even got published. But working on certification, our directory, which is we're working on that, get people who are in the KNF community linked up with each other, and supporting, of course, that's the KNF support, our news with our online, and also research here. So if you didn't know, and you click on this research tab, it takes you to here where there's all this stuff from the University of Hawaii comparing, phosphorus solubilizing nitrogen bacteria with conventional and organic. There's all these papers on UH documents on how to make the solutions here, although they do use the old vocabulary. And this one, unraveling the mysteries of Korean natural farming, and then all these talks from Konkuk University, and just tons and tons of resources here, and getting better all the time, working together with the foundation to make this happen. And so anyway, just since we had a meeting yesterday, I figured I may as well talk about that a little bit. And then one other thing I've been up to this past week, been just outside the office here building some stuff with a fan, and I want to show you. So I've been working on, the idea is that I want to get, I have a small little 12-volt pump, and I want it to spray my pastures, but I don't want to be driving around a whole lot with a tractor and making a whole lot of passes over the field and just taking a whole bunch of time. So I've been working on a fan solution, because I figure with the one way people go to get solutions sprayed further is to get a bigger sprayer and to spray it with higher pressure, right? If you want to get the spray to go out, you want to spray, just crank it up and just get it to spray like a fire hose, right? And crank it out. But I was thinking of a different approach, and it's a vehicle that I saw while I was in Korea. I went to the government-sponsored learning center there in Gokseong County, and I was like, I saw this vehicle they had parked there where it was basically had this big cone on the back, and it had these misters, and it looked like you could just drive it and spray with it. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so I've been thinking about this for a while, and this was actually a project I bought 2 fans back in 2020, way back in the day. And I was thinking, man, I wanted to work on this project. I thought I would be able to do it, but only now was I able to kind of get into this fan project. But I just want to show you a little bit of this idea here of what I was doing, because initially I was like, how do you do this, right? So I was thinking, okay, I take the fan, put a cone on it, and then one of my main ideas was to get it to vortex, because if I can get air to spin inside of itself, it'll hold its shape just like a tornado as it goes out. And I was like, how do you do that? What do what do you do? And so what I ended up getting into, yeah, Yeah, that a tank van sprayer here in Spain. Yeah, that's what I'm into. So, but since I couldn't really find that, and I was thinking, okay, well, force the air into a cone. But what I ended up finding out through a little bit of research is here. I'm gonna share this over here. Transition back over to this one, and this here. So I ended up learning about this, a contra-rotating fan. So check this out. You can't hear the sound, I don't think, but there's an inlet outlet, and one's rotating. They rotate opposite of each other, and it's just showing, power outlet. But look at this. So the single fan would blow that crap everywhere, whereas versus the counter rotating fan blows it in a straight line. And so, and look at that, it's going out 10 meters. So that's kind of the idea there, is to get this counter rotating fan here. So instead of, just one fan blowing it, it's one fan spinning this way and the other fan spinning the other way. And somehow these things spinning opposite takes the air, and instead of making a bunch of disturbance where it goes out, it actually concentrates the air into one shaft. And this is through a bunch of research here. This is what I was able to find out. And here looking at let's see which one. And they've used these in aircraft too. Apparently they're about 16% more efficient. So here, I got another video here of kind of showing how this one works. And I know there's no sound, but I don't think there's sound on this video anyway. So looking at these dynamics, so you see these two fans kind of faced opposite, and they spin opposite directions of each other. And this video kind of shows how it works here. And I think they put an actual still blade in the center of that for some reason, which might be an interesting idea. But here you go. It's like looking at the, how it's blowing the air, and they did all this fluid dynamics study. And I was kind of interested in this of just, how can I get this spray to go? I want it to go as far out as possible with just low pressure system. And you see it kind of twist. It does that vortex, the thing I was talking about. It takes in all this air and chaos and then winds it by having these contra-rotating fans. You see those things rotating? And so I had to modify my fan and actually take it apart and put it on backwards and then bend the blades the other direction. But you see the particles are coming out in this vorticular shape. And so without even a cone on here and without doing this, and I also know that if you modify the intake so that it has like a more of a like you get the what do they call it, Coanda currents, of making it curved on the outside, it can actually suck in the air differently too. So anyway, been researching this thing. I have the thing built outside. I've been making a little video as I went through. It's a really low quality phone video, but I just think it's interesting to kind of do it yourself kind of idea. And let's see, where's in there's one other video here. I think is it this one? Wow, this one just shows it knocking over a fan. Let me see one more video. Yeah, so this is the one, I think one last video here of this one. But the counter rotating fan, and then you see the dynamics of this, where basically creating these vortex things to carry my spray much further out there. And I'm not sure that was the best video, but it's really hard to find research on this. I can't believe there's not more research on these fans and what they do. Oh, here, this is actually one. So keep going on this fan, but this video here, where they take a tandem, two fans rotating the same direction, doesn't do much, but you see it just makes the wind spread out. But two fans rotating opposite, you see how the stuff just comes out straight. And that's the whole thing. That's what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. So without fins, without these things, yeah, Bernoulli's principle is a little bit with the Bernoulli. Bernoulli talks about basically if you have a wide cone and it gets smaller and then the air comes slowly, and then when it's skinny, it accelerates, and then it'll get wide again and it'll slow down. And so that's Bernoulli's principle. The Coanda effect is actually an interesting other effect that if you want to learn about the Coanda effect, it's this guy, this video here called Duct Theory 101, how to increase efficiency and thrust. And this video here, which I guess I'll open it up here, but this dude who's like this old dude who talks about this stuff where uh he's he's talking about how these fans work, and then he's talking about this where you suck the air over the top, and he's building a wing here, and this is the Coanda effect. And so he's talking about this. You see how it sucks over and it creates lift right here, and there's suction. And so this dude here, if you want to learn about Coanda effect and what I'm talking about, because Venturis are one thing, like, it's getting wider and it gets skinnier, and you can also use it to suck in chemicals or something. Like if you have a big pipe, like say you have a 4-inch PVC and you bring it into a 2-inch PVC, and then right there you put your injector, and then it goes back out to your 4-inch. It'll actually suck chemicals in, and that's the Venturi and Bernoulli principles, I believe in that. But this guy is talking about he's talking about the Coanda effect, and you see this extra lift here coming around like this. So I know I can accelerate the air into this thing even faster. And so to a contra-rotating fan right here with this as my input, I think I'll get even more air coming in quicker and better and faster. So I'm looking at, to build this thing here as like as a sprayer, and a way to, like, I want to basically mount this big sprayer on the back of my truck with a tank, and then maybe like Lazy Susan hardware so I can rotate it. And maybe even if I get real fancy, hook it up to like some microcontroller like this. What is this? An ESP 32. See, I don't know, like a little microcontroller like this. This also has a screen and buttons on it. This was to monitor my IMO pile. This was an alarm system to go off when my IMOs were hot. Um, but yeah, so anyway, I just, spend some time on YouTube, research this thing, contra-rotating propellers. Let's see, is this one cool? No, I think I already showed that video there. And so yeah, I went through all those videos. Um and also, well, one last video. I haven't really watched this one, but this idea here of getting it so it's you see these ducts, like he has the acceleration and then a cone to kind of accelerate it. And if you look at this, his little first bit, it's just like he's just blowing things away in a high, and he's just going with ultimate thrust. I'm not sure if he's using counter rotating um, fans in here, but his design that he has here, where he has this thrust, that's how I can get even more power out of these fans. You see how he has this curved intake to take the thing in, and then he has a cone on that side. So I really, I think there's a whole lot of goodness in this, and that's what I'm going to try and engineer and make this like super good sprayer thruster. So it just mists a little bit into the edge, and then puts out this straight line that'll just carry this mist. Because the whole thing with natural farming is like, if I want to get all these plant enzymes and hormones out, I got to make spraying easy, and I got to make it efficient. Because the more efficient I can be, time, energy, money, all that's saved, right? And just spraying these things out. And if I can do it with an inverter and run this off my truck, and just have it so I just, basically drive into the field, and then have a automated Lazy Susan equipped fan sprayer that knows where I am and just sprays my entire field, that'd be awesome, right? I just, basically sit out there and just let it spray and do its thing. So anyway, that's what yeah, in Mythbusters talking about their flying machine. Yeah, if you want to look up an interesting topic on this, you can look up what are called lifters. and the same guy, Gerald Pollack, that wrote the cells, gels, and the engines of life, and or he also wrote the fourth phase of water. Really cool books. But Gerald Pollack, he talks about lifters, and so these lifters, these things that you can build that are just interesting techniques to take something like this, which is like, sort of like a thruster jet engine, and then apply it to farming, and to take these techniques and make, because when I was looking up, like let me just show you, like when I was looking up sprayers and I was looking up misters for agriculture, all of these seemed super well, these are sprayers here, but they all seemed really like Northern Tool. Let me see here what we got. No, 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 that's not what I wanted. But looking up sprayers and misters, I was looking it up on like Alibaba and stuff, and just they all seem super inefficient. They would put out these water and then have the fan kind of blow it. I was looking up there was a dude that was talking about precision ag spraying, and it was just like here's the main way that folks put out spray is this type of system where you're running a gas engine on this, and then you have this little sprayer right here, and you're just shooting, and I mean it's cool. It's cool, like you're gonna do this stuff, but you're running like a weed blower that's like right on your back, and it's yeah, it says low noise, large capacity. My butt, it's low noise, plus you got to carry this water around, and like, look at this guy. He's like, it's cool, but that's like, to me, it's so inefficient. Like, why not build? Look at this guy all dressed up in chemical suits. Like this is the way most folks are doing it. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what about a bigger sprayer where instead of trying to just like shoot air into this thing and shoot like high pressure air into this and having this tube come out, what about if I, vortex the air and get it to spin and get it to like go on these natural principles, right? That doesn't look fun at all, right? You're gonna be carrying this water around in this huge thing, and then if you look at let's see, what should I look for? I think my scroll wheel isn't working, but it's kind of a buzzkill on that one. But so tractor mist sprayer. Like, so these things are what you're looking at, where and this thing's $5,000, which these two fans from Home Depot cost me, I mean, I'm thinking I'm in like $200 into the project maybe. And I can run it off a 12-volt pump. But like, this is the type of thing where they are using this cone. I'm not sure if they're using the the reverse things, but here, and this is kind of what I want to do, but I want to make it so that they um the vortex it so it'll carry even further. It looks like this is just like a lot of horsepower to make this type of thing happen. And let's see, all these here. Oh, there's one from Walmart. That's pretty cool. And then it was this type of technology where it's just a fan throwing air, and then these misters. Like, it just seemed like, like maybe you're gonna miss the row next to you or that kind of thing, but it just doesn't seem like you're tapping the full potential of nature. And yeah, there's my scroll wheel. It's not working. Oh man, I wish my scroll wheel would work. What is up with it? Um, but yeah, all these sprayers, these misters, they're like, just shooting straight down booms. It's like, what if I could just spray this stuff out further? So anyway, that's what I've been up to. I know I'm talking yeah, they're fogging pesticides without safety, and oh man, yeah, who has $5,000, especially when you start? You know, not me. Um, next time I go into town, take a little spray bottle with liquid IMO and discreetly spray the microbes around. Inspired by Drake and Cheryl, thank you. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I'm hooking these sprayers onto my truck and getting that to go, because why not? When I'm driving around, I may as well have a 25-gallon sprayer and little nozzles that point down and spray, out to the side or down on the street, and spray some liquid IMO. It doesn't cost much, and it really can make a huge difference. Um, oh yeah, and yeah, thanks for the videos, Julia. It's great to see you guys, and all those the inspiration coming out and getting these things together. It's building a worldwide community, and you're important. You are important, right? We're important. I'm important. Flat Eric's important. Um, he's in there guarding. Oh, he was in a good position. Now I kind of messed him up. Um, so last week, I was talking to you guys a little bit about a little bit of homework and watching this video, and transition over here, and my brethren here, what's his name, Albert, right? And talking about exponential theory, and I don't know how many of you actually viewed these videos, but he was explaining this a little bit better than I was. And one of his most important videos, the part of this is he's talking about the effect of world depletion of crude oil in 1970. They had 20 billion barrels. 1980, 35, 69, and he finds out that the doubling period's about 17 years. And in 1991, there's half gone, and there's 1,000 left. And then he's saying by 2001, we'd have zero left. And I believe that's why we're into the energy crisis right now. Obviously, they've improved technology where they can get more oil out of the ground, which may have profound impacts for us in terms of how much if they're cracking, hydrofracking our groundwater and these things. But it's just interesting if so, put it in the comments here if you've done the the homework and you watch this video where he's showing these doublings, where it doubles, it doubles, it doubles, it doubles, it doubles, it doubles. And then here, your last doubling period, you're using as much in this last doubling period as you've ever used before in human history. And these concepts here of understanding resources and understanding resource depletion, of like how just simply a small growth rate, this is at 7% per year, which I think doubles every 10 years at 7% growth. And how they're, it just every 10 years, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, you've used up your entire, everything within here. And in this video, part 3, at the very end of it, he gets into the experiment with the bacteria doubling. Let's see if I can pull this up here without. I think he's still talking about the oil here and talking about the. Oh no, maybe it's part 2 that he was talking about this, but so this mind experiment here of, imagine bacteria growing steadily in a bottle. They double in number every minute. At 11 a.m., there's one bacterium in the bottle. At 12 noon, the bottle is full. And so the question is, at what minute between 11 a.m. and 12 noon is the bottle half full? And all that, like he goes through this experiment here of kind of showing how the numbers work. But almost everyone would think, like the common misperception, even ask people this question here. Imagine bacteria growing steadily in a bottle. They double in number every minute. And at 11, there's one bacterium, and at noon, it's full. So at what point is it half? And most people would say, oh, well, 11:30, right? Because it's between half the time, right? But the correct answer is that the bottle is half full at 11:59. Because if it's doubling every minute, meaning that, for it to double to get completely full, you just go back 1 minute, and that means it's halving every reverse minute. So if it's full at noon, you go back 1 minute, and that means it's half full at 11:59. And then it's a quarter full at 11:58. and it's a eighth full at 11:58, 57. Sorry, I'm kind of going backwards, so I might get confused on this. But and it's only a 16th full at a like 4 minutes before the end of the thing. So if you think they grow from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, only in the last 4 minutes was it at a 16th full. So that entire time before that, it was less than a 16th full. And only in that last 4 minutes did it go from a 16th full to completely full. And so the implications of the exponential theory, this is what I was trying to get at last week towards the end of the episode. And I figured I'd bring it into this episode as I put this out for homework to watch, because as you guys start to understand this, it's like, this is, to me, it's the most mind-blowing, biggest concept. It's the reason I'm a natural farmer. I watched this video back in 2007 when I was getting into politics, and I watched this video and I was like, oh, we got some serious problems. And it was this most important video you'll ever see with Professor Albert Bartlett in University of Boulder, that profoundly changed my life. This video, because understanding that, like, okay, like, so you got a bottle and it's gonna fill up for an hour, right? And it's gonna be full at the end. And it only in the last 4 minutes did it go from a 16th full to completely full. And it's like our resources. So when you look out and you say, oh well, there's a quarter of the fish left, and people think, oh well, that's great. We got years of fishing left if we've only fished out a quarter of the fish. But understanding exponential theory, you'd understand that we're 2 minutes away, or two doubling periods away from it being full, right? So if we double every 10 years, or we're 20 years of catching fish, like there's twice as much fish caught every 20 years. That means we only have 40 years before all the fish are gone. And we've been fishing since the dawn of time all the way till now. And it's like in the last, two doubling periods, we went from a quarter of the fish to half the fish to all the fish gone. And it's just like mind blowing, just like, oh my gosh. So when you see something, and this is why, like, I think when the Native Americans, like, people were colonizing and taking over the indigenous people, and the indigenous people were like, no, like, leave the resources, don't touch them, don't touch them. And the other people were like, yeah, there's plenty of trees, man, we can take a lot of them. We can just cut these trees down. It's like, harvest all these redwoods. It's no problem, right? And the native people were like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, keep it there. You're going to destroy the earth. And the other people were like, you guys are crazy. You're tree hugging Indians. What are you doing here? I don't even know if that's politically correct anymore, but you're tree hugging natives. What are you doing here? Right? And they were, and all of a sudden now it's like there's no trees, right? It's like depleted, all the forest, like it's just like gone. And the native people were so in tune with nature, they understood the rapidity of this function. And so when you're you look at it and it's like, well, there's we've only harvested an eighth of the trees, right? That means you're only like 3 or 4 doubling periods away from harvesting them all. And it's like, you've been harvesting trees this whole time, there's only an eighth gone, and you think, oh, we're fine. It's only in that last little bit where it just goes woo, and all the trees are gone. And so it's this same idea of, like, the oil, the metal, the mining batteries, to think, oh, batteries are the future, electric cars. It's like, it's still exponential theory. It's like, you can't get away from the math and these numbers. And so once you start to understand exponential growth, you understand these functions, this math. And I hope you took the time to watch this 8 series video. It's only about an hour of your life, and it will, if you watch it and grok it and understand it, you will be like so much better off, because the understanding the math of how the rapidity of these things just takes off is amazing. So the reason I wanted to kind of talk about that and kind of get these things together is that I also, at the same time, I'm gonna pull up a blank spreadsheet here and put it on this side here. And I don't want to just talk about the depressing part of this. I want to talk about the amazing part of this. So here, I'm just gonna go run a series here that just says, so I'm just gonna do a little thing that says, run a little formulas here. So I'm just in this column here, I'm just going to have it add. So it's just going to be a sequential column here. And then in this one, so this here represents represents me as one person, first iteration. And then if I go and I teach two people, so I go and I say, okay, this formula is this one times 2. And then those two people, wait, let's see. So yeah, and I think I can just extend this out this way. Or no, I might have to do this series here of saying, oh shoot, to say that it's this one equals this one times this cell. And I think, yeah, it's okay. So if I go, this is me, and I teach two people, and those two people teach two people, that this series here, I'm pretty sure, did I do that right? No, I didn't do that right. It's not times that one. It's just the number above times 2, I believe. So this one is this one times 2. Okay, yeah, I think this is going to be correct. So if I teach two people, those two people teach two people, that'd be 4 people. But it should be 5. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to say, let's see, this one here got to be plus. Where is it? But is that going to be right? Yeah, well, I guess it would be right if I continue teaching. Plus this one. No, shoot. Anyway, let's just go with this and just say, okay, let's just go with a doubling function. It's not going to be exactly correct because someone that's a better mathematician than me that's not trying to do this live. And let's also make this stuff a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Let's zoom this way the heck in here and bring this up so you guys can kind of see it's a table. Get rid of the table headers. Anyway, so here we go. And here we're at 2, 4. And I am just going to drag this down here. And so check this out. So if I teach two people, those people 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 teach two people, those people, those people, those people, and you just continue. Each of the people that we teach teaches two people. That by the 19th time this has happened, there's over 500,000 people that have been taught natural farming. Okay? And so let's continue this down and just go a little bit further here and continue these numbers down and say, okay, then by the time that we've gotten this out and it's gone 28 times of this two people teaching two people, just 28 times, like through this thing. Now there are, let's see, comma there. There's, is that 280 billion? Shoot, I gotta format this with commas in there to make it easier for myself. How do I grab this row and then go format? Let's see. I want to format the cell. This is the hard part about doing this live, is that it's like, how do I format it to be a commas and stuff? Oh man, come on. Which one is it in? Who knows this better than me? Put it in the comments. Come on. 268 million. Is it million? Comma. Okay, 268 million. Okay. Yeah, good. Thanks, you guys. That's why I put it on faster today. But we keep these going down, and look at this. By the time we've hit here, we're at 268 million. This is 500 million. This is a billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, 8 billion. By the time this thing has gone 33 cycles through,
if the world's population is 8 billion, it only takes 33 times of people teaching other people natural farming. And you just got to teach two people. It's not like you got to teach 1,000. It's not like you got to teach 100. It's not like that. It's just two people teaching two people right here. Oh, shoot. By the 33rd cycle of the same doubling function, we're at we're at 8.5 billion people. So I'm pretty sure that's the world's population is like 8.5 billion. I don't know. The internet might tell me, but I don't even trust this stuff anymore to like Google these facts. But let's just I'll zoom in a little bit more here so you guys can see this clearly. Ah, shoot, my scroll wheel's kind of messed up. But check it out here. By the 33rd iteration of this, there are 8.5 billion people that have been taught. By the 34th iteration, there's 1.17 billion people that have been taught natural farming. So, assuming you didn't get it the first time and you taught them again, well, then 17 billion people. So, what I want to share with you is about this is that how many, like, if we think, okay, natural farming is like a way, like in my mind, I think, okay, it's the way to like result, like heal the planet, enrich people, give them sovereignty, teach them about soil life, health, integral microbiome in yourself, how to raise animals with good welfare, how to stop erosion, how to what are the other benefits of natural farming? You know, drop that in the comments of like, you know, what are the other benefits that you get out of it? You know, happiness, helping your friends, um, you know, less water irrigation, less fertilizer, less polluting industry, more you know, more abundance of all sorts. And it literally only takes us to teach two people, and each person teaches two more people 33 times. 33 times that can happen, right? And all of a sudden the entire world's population knows about this and can do it. And so assume it took you what, like a day, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Like if it was, you know, times this by like say it takes you 15 uh you know 15 days for this to happen, or you know 2 weeks. Let's just put in 14 days times this number here, and I'm pretty sure it would take 462 days. That's a little bit more than a year for every single person to learn natural farming and to change the world and to learn about this. Yeah, better human health by ingesting, you know, these things. You know, you don't have to buy soda anymore. You can just drink natural farming solutions. Now your kids don't have to drink like poisonous corn syrup. They can drink actual like nutrient plant extractions from the KNF food. You know, all these benefits, right? And it would literally take just like less than 2 years, assuming it took this time and this wasn't even sequential. Like it's those two people learned completely and then they taught two other people. And you were able to do this in 14 days, you know, which is kind of like to learn natural farming in 14 days. It's like, you know, how well do you know it? But, you know, it's taken me 15 years. So, you know, but even then it's like, you know, assuming this was the case, like just teach them one solution, just a can of food, right? And in 462 days, every single person in the entire world would know about KNF food, right? And so it doesn't take like, you know, a bunch of people. It just takes two people teaching two people to teach two people 33 times, in the entire world will know about this. Every single human being out there, or 34 times if you really want to be careful and really teach them a few times and teach them. Um, how much would it cost for a class with me? You know, you can come stay at the Airbnb. Last time I was talking about it, they're still here on the Airbnb. The links in the, you know, I'll put it in the link in the description here. But you know, if you want to come out, you want to, you know, I appreciate like more than just staying at the Airbnb and actually, you know, dropping some cash to me to help. But the Airbnb, hey man, that keeps my existence going. Of like, and look how beautiful it is. Every single time I talk about how beautiful it is, and the thing is, I don't need to teach everybody. Oh shoot, let's see a transition on this. I don't need to teach everybody. You know, getting you can teach folks, and that's the thing is like we're all in this together. You know, let's see, bring that up. But like this is the math, this is the numbers. You can check out my Airbnb, come here and stay here if you want. Get into learning. I usually would teach like a full week-long course for $1,200, which includes your stay. And that's really nice because that's really worth my time to do it that way, and I really put a ton of energy into teaching you. If you just come just to hang out and stuff, it's hard for me to like I got a lot of other stuff I'm going. I have to put the rest of my life on hold to like really download you in a rapid way. So but this is the answer to all this. Is the lemmings in Disney? Huh. The Norwegian lemmings after watching that video. Um yeah, so um yeah, it's actually just a myth perpetuated by Disney. The lemmings don't actually do that. Um, Mental well-being, a sense of purpose. Like think of this. Think of this. You guys, like we can get the whole world. It's just 33 cycles of teaching two people, and you tell those two people, look, I'm going to teach you, but you need to teach two more people, and you need to do and then you need to tell them to do the exact same thing. And if that happens 33 times, everyone in the world will know about natural farming. Everyone in the world will have a solution that they can look at the weeds in their yard and be like, I know how to turn that into fertility. I know how to grow. I know how to, feed my plants, feed my animals, feed the world, feed these things. Like this is the answer, right? Like this is why I wanted you to watch the exponential video, because first off, I wanted you just to see the scariness of it. That oil and gas and energy and all that is going to disappear real quick, no matter what they do. I was reading, I was telling you last week or 2 weeks ago, the milk carton says, we're going to be carbon free by 2050. And it's like, yeah, you are, because the exponential theory is going to, we're already 3/4 of the way through the known oil reserves. That doesn't mean we have a quarter of the time left. It means we're in the last doubling period. We're halfway through the last doubling period. And this is just like, it's crazy. And it's we're running out of resources. And it's not like, oh, the sky is falling. It's like, this is pure math. And you could look at a guy like, what was the guy's name? Oh shoot. The Malthus. Thomas Malthus was the guy. And he had this thing about how the population's going to crash and we're dying and we're running out of resources and all these things. And they call it Malthusian logic. And they laughed at it. And then they had Keynesian logic, which is just print more, and not even worry about it. But understanding this math, knowing what's going on, knowing how these numbers affect things, knowing how they grow so fast that only 33 times of teaching two people, the entire world will know. To me, that's insane. It's just like mind boggling. It's just like, it's the answer. It's the way. I mean, literally, that could be done in like a year or less, right? And everyone would know these solutions. So I just want to like put this out and say there's hope. It's a lot of hope. As the energy resources plummet, natural farming can rise. As you can't get chemical fertilizer, as you can't get diesel, all that cost is rising. It's like, well, natural farming is cutting these costs, right? If you learn and you go to the book here and you pull up the book and it shows you the disgustingly cheap microbes, where it's like, okay, I got these where is it? Let me pull this up. Documents. Oh, my scroll wheel isn't working. This is making it much harder to go through my computer to find what I'm looking for. But you pull up this book here, right? This is right on the website. It's it's affordable for most folks. And if not, and you go down to these recipes here down at the bottom, and the disgustingly cheap microbes. cost you next to nothing. You teach 2 people to tell them to teach 2 people. Now they can make these microbes, and you show them the disgustingly cheap food, cost you next to nothing. You put weeds in a bucket, you fill it with water, you add a handful of microbial rich soil, you let it sit for 2 weeks, and you draw off the juice when needed. Dilute it 1 to 100 for general use, continually refill with grass and water. And now you've got this amazing fertilizer. You don't need to buy all this stuff. This has all the NPK in it. It's not as good as some other recipes, but it's every single person in the world can afford this. Everyone can find a bucket or some container or some clay vessel or something to put it in. And everyone can make these microbes. Everyone has some sort of starch available, some microbes, and some salt. If not, go to the ocean and get it. And it's not that hard. And we teach 2 people who teach 2 people that now all of our soil that was damaged is recovered with these 2 recipes. And then once we get out of poverty from these 2 recipes, then we can go up and learn about Master Cho's stuff and learn about how his solutions here are vital. And there's more to it, like the microbes, the protectors, the food, the cleanser, the medicine, the structure, the fuel, the reproduction, and the minerals, all those 9 solutions. And we can bring this hope back into people's lives, empower them, make them sovereign, put good people in charge of our governments, because it's us. We're the government, right? I went over that in May 25th episode. If you didn't watch that one. It's real empowering. And we teach people all these things about how you can take these tools and how you can learn. And if you can do this in 14 days, in 462 days, we can get the entire globe educated on how to use these solutions. So it's really right here, the answers, the solutions, they're within our hands. It's just a matter of learning it, teaching a few other people, and by a few other, I mean 2. And if you really want to do this and you want to do it even better, hey, let's go back to this math equation, and let's say you're able to teach 10 people instead of just 2, right? So I believe here, change my equation here, instead of times 2, oh shoot, I do this one. Let's see, that's not the equation I want to change. Oh yeah, it is. Times 10. And now let's change this one. Times 10. And this is this is you teaching 10 people instead of 1 person, right? And those 10 people teaching 10 people, and those 10 people teaching 10 people. Oh, shouldn't that be 1,000 though? Oh, you know what? It copied my entire equation. Okay, so what I gotta do here is take this guy and drag this down, like so. Oh, my scroll wheel doesn't work. But check this out. Where is that same? Shoot. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here, right here. So if you taught 10 people, it's not that much difference actually. It's only 26 cycles instead of 33 cycles. It's only 26. So teaching 10 people isn't even that much of a difference. Right here, right? This is 16 billion, isn't this? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. No, this is only 1 billion. Man, I really got to put the commas in here. That's 3 billion. 6 billion, 13 billion. Okay, so it's 29 cycles. So it's you only shorten it by like, 4 cycles or something to change. Sorry with me and the commas and all this stuff and trying to do math live. It's like, it's kind of, it's 9 in the morning, man. I'm getting all this here. But, and sweeter than anything, I just want to bring it up. Like, if you think like AI stuff is going to manage resources and make it better and all that, like just this math alone, like if you said, okay, well, we're going to use machines and they'll manage the resources better than this. It's like you really go from like, instead of 33 cycles, you go to 29 cycles like this. Like I just multiplied it by 10 instead of 2. It's like exponential theory and like resource management are not compatible with each other. It's like it's actually beneficial solutions that do this. So not that I really want to like argue on this and be like it's not true or whatever. it's like resource doubling, understanding resource scarcity, understanding all these things. Like this, like what I'm really trying to bring here is like just by teaching two people, you know, if you taught 10 people, it doesn't make that much more of a difference. It's like teaching two people, and those two people teach two people. The exponentiality of this is just wild. It's absolutely wild of how fast these things increase and how quickly, um, you know, if we teach 10 people and they teach 10 people, it's like it doesn't change that much. It's like four or five, you know, three or four cycles. And when you take that whole bit, I don't know what you know, what is 29 divided by 33 divided by 20. You're only 1.13% more effective. You know, you're only like 13% more effective if you teach 10 people than if you taught two people. So in two people's a lot more teachable, right? Because 10 people is like a fair amount. You know, maybe you could have a class and 10 people could show up, but of those 10 people that show up, maybe two will go away with something knowledgeable. So it's just interesting here. I just wanted to share this with you guys of like these numbers, this exponentiality. It was like one of the main topics I wanted to get through, share it with you guys. You know, power of the great, meaning that this knowledge, like, just, you know, stay humble, but go out and teach and to do these things. And somebody wants to come here and work for free. Yeah, I still got overhead costs, and if you pay for your food, maybe that would work. And if you really work well, might be able to do that. But it's opportunity cost of housing you. I rely on the, you know, maybe if you came here and built a shack in the bushes, hey, that'd be cool. But I do have, you know, opportunity cost. If I don't pay the taxes, people with guns come and they take the land, and it's gnarly. And also, you know, I got my dad. There's a whole thing of like supporting each other and making these things work. Yeah, so yeah, you know. So anyway, I hope you know, you're saying Malthusian's wrong. Yeah, and of course you run into issues where like for instance you can't get the last little bits out because people die, like the idea of population and stuff. But do sweeter than anything, please do watch this video here. You know, the most important video you'll ever see. Watch that whole thing because, you know, it talks about Malthusian, talks about these things. Obviously, this guy's projections in this movie, this video itself was wrong, right? He was he was predicting he was predicting, you know, oil to be gone in like 2001 if you look at this, or you know, like US coal, and when we, you know, like if we're using 8% for a year, we can, you know, 48 years. And like obviously, okay, you did watch it. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not then I don't want to like argue too much about this or like be like, oh, I know better, because I really don't. I'm just suggesting these things that to me it just blew my mind in terms of like, you know, it's nice to think about, but there are limits to growth, you know, you know, hard limits of just there's not enough food, there's not enough things, there's not enough people, you know, and there are limits. But I just the exponential growth of how it's like, you know, when you think of the bacteria doubling between 11 a.m. and 12, and you think, oh, it's halfway full, well, it should be 11:30, but it's actually 11:59, and that last doubling, how this thing sneaks up on us. Clearly, that, you know, it's not going to turn everything into bacteria, and there's limits to this, but it's also really, you know, sobering facts of being like, wow, resources are going to go much faster than you think they are. It's like, oh, we've only used half the world's energy. Well, it's like, well, in the next 20 years, we're going to use the remaining half, and that's going to be more than we've ever used before in human history, and we're going to use it, right? And so that's why it's so important that today you teach two people natural farming, and then those two people teach two people, because in 468 days, everyone in the world will know about this, right? And this is what I'm trying to bring to you of you know, like what the hope we have, and the beauty of natural farming, and the way that, you know, you can empower people in their lives to get out there and to understand, hey, fermentation. We can build microbes, we can build soil, we can get energy, we can do all these things. So I really want to just encourage everybody that, and another thing is teach people about this exponential theory, you know, because this is going to save people's lives and this is really going to make it good for us all. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in this week for the office hour. I hope, it's kind of me ranting on this stuff, not answering too much questions, but again, if you do have questions, we went over this. It's the Peer KNF Foundation sponsors some projects, the office hours, as well as KNF support. So go back, and if you do have questions, watch the past office hours. Like I said on the past office hours here, any of them you're curious, you're like, what have we talked about? Maybe I don't know, growth. Let's see. Have we talked about growth? Yeah, heck yeah, we talked about it on January 30th, January 9th, you know, all of these, right? So it's these types of things that help us to, you can go back and search for under the office hours, search for past topics if you got questions, or if you want to just, get a text answer here from KNF support, look in here, ask a new question. If it's not there already, I got to log in. But, you can ask questions, find these things, find resources, sharing it with all you guys, really trying to, share the love. Again, it's not like you have to perform a miracle here. Teach two people, tell those people to teach two people. And in 462 days, we can change the world. So, really want to leave you with that. Yeah, and food prices going up, getting people to learn like this is the truth. But this is the way, it takes these catalysts, it takes these motions, it takes these things. And teaching a few friends, that's so cool. Joel, like doing that. Um, you know, this is it. This is it. We're the few people, we're the few chosen ones that know about these, like sons of Cho, right? The chosen ones, right? All kinds of fun jokes in there. And then Cho is, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the building blocks of life and sugar and all these, the deep esoteric miracle of what we've stumbled upon and that you are a part of and that we're all in this together. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and, blessings and love to you this week. Go make it a great one. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone out there. And remember, long live the natural farmer. Sweet. Love you, friends. Take it easy. Bye now. I'll see you next week, actually. Aloha. And transition out.